Hello everyone, I am Cindy from Cindy's Creative Cards, and today I'm going to share with you a few techniques that are really cool. You can make some amazing cards using it. This is what people used to do long ago before there were ever designer series paper or those specialty papers you buy in stores. So what we're going to do is use a few items with all the cards, and I will take you through it step by step. So here we go. I need to fix my camera. Oh, if I can figure out how to do this. Star. All right, here we go. Okay, today we're going to be using this stamp set, The Biggest Wish. This has got a lot of sentiments on here that really are helpful with a lot of cards that you're making, and then we're going to use them on the ones that we're doing today. So the first thing, I'm going to lay it to the side. The first thing I wanted to show you is a card that I made using rubber bands. Now you probably saw this on my website or Facebook. But this part right here is all done with ink and rubber bands. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to lay this one to the side. First, you need a block, and I decided to use this block. It is a size D. You can see on your blocks what size you have by looking on the side here. It's printed. And your Stampin' Up! Catalog will tell you which size blocks you need for each stamp set. So, I have folded paper here. This is 5.5 by 4 1/4, and I've scored it 5.5, I'm sorry, by 8.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4 for a normal size card. I've got my block, and I've got all these pretty colored rubber bands, and I'm just going to place it on the block. I've got 4. You could do less, or you could do more. And there's no set way to do it. I'm going to put it, this one, like that, and then maybe another one like this, and like that. Okay, trying not to get it twisted here. All right, so now what I'm going to use are the new ink colors. The Sweet Sorbet, Orchid Oasis, Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, and Starry Sky. So with this, I'm going to start out with the Sweet Sorbet. And the way you open these, some people can pop them from the back. Ooh, it did it. I've never been able to do that. And then open it up. But what I always have done is just pull from here and slide it in. Look at that. That's why I keep one of these wipes handy. Now that would have been really pretty on my card. And this is real life, guys. Sorry about that. I'm going to get another wipe, and just to make sure that there's nothing on my hands that will come off on the card. This is just a water wipe, a baby wipe. Now, I have heard from a wonderful demonstrator that if you use Germ-X, it will keep ink from transferring to your card. So, here we go. I'm going to just get my hands dry, press down, and get ink on my rubber bands, and then press. And it doesn't look like much when you first get started, but by the time you add the different colors, then you are going to have a merry mix that really is bright and cheerful. Now, when I'm doing this, I'm not going to worry about this part here because that's going to be covered up with the sentiment. So, I'm going to wipe off all of this. Like that. And then I'm going to make sure my hands are dry and close that ink pad. And I'm going to open up Orchid Oasis. Now, I'm going to do the same thing. Stamp it in the ink. And I'm going to stamp it around. I'll try not to press so hard that I get a lot of this, but that still is okay if you do. Okay, that looks pretty even. Alrighty, once again, I'm going to clean these rubber bands. With water wipes. Alright. I'm going to close this up, and I'm going to get Parakeet Party. I'm going to stamp. With green all the way around. Now, it depends on you as to how much you put in here as far as the colors are concerned. And I can see already that I am not going to be using Starry Sky because I've already got plenty of darkness with the Orchid Oasis. Now, this is something that you may not know that would be helpful for you, is that you need to store your Stampin' Up! Ink pads upside down. That is so the ink does not seep out. And so it is at the top of the pad when you open it up. Okay. I want some of the Tahitian Tide. And before that, I'm just going to wipe Parakeet Party off. And dry it off. Press it down. And I'm going to go all the way around. Now, it looks like a mess right now. But when you place the rest of the card front on top, it's going to be a really pretty card. Okay, I'll clean this. Okay, so now what I would do is I decided before we got started that I wanted to place this in the center. I wanted to change it up a little bit. Here's the other one. And I decided that I wanted to place the Parakeet Party in the center instead of this Tahitian blue. Now, here's where a tip and a trick is going to come in. You can see here, I practiced stamping, and it did not get, when I put my stamp on this block and I pressed it down, it did not get it inked up the way I wanted it all the way. So this is where the Stamparatus comes in. Here is Stampin' Up's Stamparatus. And it is I think a plexiglass cover that is hinged. There's another one that goes here, but I took that one off because I didn't need that. It has magnets right here on the back, but I had extra, so I just left these magnets in. And here's a tip. These magnets are hard sometimes to get up and off. So if you'll put a piece of tape, and this is that surgical tape that I told you about in the first video, just wrap it around it. It gives you a little handle to pick it up with. This is washi tape, and it does a good job too, but this particular one is more like paper, and when I had it over here, it tore, so I just changed it to the surgical tape. So you take the paper that you're going to stamp on, and you put it down, and I'm going to hold it with both of these magnets in the corner so it does not slip, but I'm going to line it up with one of these lines, and that looks pretty good. Okay, then I'm going to take my Biggest Wish stamp set, and I'm going to pull out Happy, because I want this to say Happy Birthday. Now, the raised part is the part that you stamp with, so I'm going to place it where I want it to be stamped. Okay? Then I close this and press down and lift up, and now it's going to be exactly where I want it to be on this paper when I stamp. I'm going to use the Orchid Oasis. Now you open it and you take it, and what you do is you just, if I can make sure that you can see what I'm doing here. I just press on the stamp. Now this is not going to go onto this because the stamp is raised up. Okay, so I've got it inked. I press it down, and I'm going to push. And some people use, it's a Chucky. And you just press on it to make sure that your ink transfers. And it did a pretty good job, except for right there at the top. So I'm going to do it one more time. And the beauty of this is that you can re-ink and stamp over and over, and it's going to go right in the same place. And there we have it. Happy birthday. And that is beautiful. I'm very happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to slide this over, take this out. Now, I think that I'm going to be able to stamp birthday without any problems. I'm going to try it anyway. So, I'm going to get the stamp set, put this one in, and I'm going to find birthday. Here it is. I've used it, you can tell, using red ink. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use, to close this ink pad because I don't want any calamities. And I'm going to open my Sweet Sorbet. I'm going to take the rubber bands off since we're finished now. And I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to place my stamp block on here, trying to get it straight. And it is a little bit crooked, so I'm going to straighten that up a little bit. Okay. Then I'm going to stamp it up or ink it up. All right. And then I am going to stamp. And there you go. Happy birthday. Great. All right. So, I always try to make sure that I immediately go to my stamps and wipe them in the ink blot, because if I don't, then I'm going to have more of that. Okay. So, now, I'm happy with that. So, I'm going to place it on this green backing that I did before we got started, right here. And here comes another little tip. Stampin' Up! Has these little pads that will help you when you are using a tape runner or glue. If you use this, any glue or tape that gets on this wipes off very easily. It's a silicone mat. Sometimes this tape runner, like right there, it doesn't want to start. You can rub it against that and it will start it. So it has a dual purpose here. Yep. Okay. I'm going to place this down. Just get it as even as I can. All right. Now, here we go. Here's what we did earlier. And that's going to go on there, just like that. Now, because I want this to have a little more dimension, I'm going to use Stampin' Up's Stamping Dimensionals. They're self-adhesive dots, a little bigger than dots. They're more like a hexagon. And they pull off. They're sticky on this side. I've turned this over, and I will just place these down. Up to you as to how many you like to use. I'm sort of fanatical about it, I'm afraid. And then I can take this little tool, and on the ends, you take that out, you turn it over, and you have a point. And this very easily will get the top covering off of these adhesive shapes. If you have fingernails, you don't have to worry about this. But I do not. Okay, so now this will raise it up. And you can see there's a space there. And that just gives it a little dimension. Okay. Now, I think that needs a little more pizzazz. And here are the in color matte decorative dots that match these new colors. I'm going to turn this pick back around like this. And these colors are dark and they gradually get lighter for each of the colors. And I am going to choose this Parakeet Party. Put one here. And whenever you put embellishments on, you need to think of the rule of 3. So it will look balanced. Let's see, I'm going to put this one here and slide this one up there. Just a bit. So you can see they're sticky on the other side. So there we go. We have a new birthday card. All right. Now, here's the one I had done before, and here's the one that was done today. Okay, so the next tip and trick, technique, I guess I should say, that I told you that we were going to be doing is the bubble wrap technique. Here's a card that I made using bubble wrap. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did it, so you can make some of these amazing cards too. All right, so I have my card front that I'm going to place right to the side so we can have that when we need it. And here's the backing here that will go like this. Then I'm going to use dimensionals and raise this up. I'm sort of doing this backwards compared to that. So when the time comes, I'm going to raise it up with dimensionals. But here's the piece that will go here that we're going to use bubble wrap for. So I'm going to place that right there. All right, we are using for this, instead of the end colors, we are using Gorgeous Grape. And we're going to start out with it. It's the darkest color. And I have cut bubble wrap into little rectangles. And all you do is you just lay your bubble wrap in the ink. And you see, that's what it looks like. And then press it down on your paper. And I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to put some right here. So it's really good to have a piece of paper underneath so you don't have a mess on your table. Okay, so far that's what we have. Oh, it's pretty rotten, doesn't it? But let's keep going. So here's Gorgeous Grape. I think I'm going to go with some polished pink next. Now, I could wipe this off and use it again, but because I don't want to take up that much time doing it, I've got another piece. And I press it down. Onto our paper, just like that. And I want a little bit right there. All right, now let's become into a little more colorful. Now I want to use some green. It needs a little spicing up, I think. So let me lay this to the side. And here is another piece of bubble wrap. You can see it places, sort of fills in some of those holes and gives it a little pop of color. Now, by itself, that doesn't look like much. But when you start to create your card, it's going to be a lot more colorful. So I am not going to put anything else in there. I'm thinking that might be enough. Yes, yellow is yelling to me. Daffodil Delight. Okay, got to do it. Sorry, just got to do it. Find. All right, here we go. Now, I can be selective in where I place this ink. But I'm just going to go ahead and put it on. Okay, I think that's pretty good. There we go. Now that looks like actually a mess, but turn my ink pads over. But let's place it here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, once again, I'm going to use my tape runner, turn this over, and I'm going to get the tape going. Now it doesn't, you don't have to use as much as I do, but I like to make sure it's going to be secure. Okay. So I place this down first because I want it even. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and place this piece that we just did. Okay. Right on there. As evenly as I can get it. Okay. I'm going to put Stampin' Dimensionals. If I can get it out of this little baggie. Right here. I end up with these little backings everywhere. I found one in my cat's tail, or on my cat's tail, the other day, and had to chase her down to get it off. Okay, and here we go, and I'm going to turn this back over. You'll take your pick tool, and I'm going to pull these off. See, that did come off. It's best to try not to touch the sticky back so it will remain sticky. Okay. Now, I'm going to place it just like that. See, this one looks different than that one because this one has the Orchid Oasis in it. Okay. Now, I want to put a sentiment. And because this sentiment is much like the one before, I'm going to use my Stamparatus. So once again, you can watch this magic take place. Hopefully. I've got a mess here. And this is the way my craft table normally looks. It's a mess. Because I'm all the time doing stuff. Okay, so I'm going to put it here. I'm going to pick up the magnet. And I'm going to let it get the corners. All right. Now, I'm going to take this stamp off. And I think I will use the thanks again. Let's see, where is it? Right down here. And I'm going to place it where I want it to go. I think that is sort of spaced correctly. So these go up a little bit. All right. Now, and I've got the wrong side. You can tell you got the wrong side if you're using your brain because you can't read it. All right, so press this down. And it pulled up my paper. All right, let's start this over. We're going to put this back down. I need it to cover a little more than I did. Now, let's see. Is this? Nope. Let's slide it down. Alrighty. Yep, that's going to be it right there. So, what color do I use? I think it would be great to do like I did on this one and use the polished pink. So, I'm going to pull out this ink pad, and I am going to ink up. Thanks. All right, I'm going to lay that down. And I'm going to close this. And because I want the ink to transfer evenly, I'm going to use my little Chucky tool. Okay, see, it did not get it completely inked up the way I want it to be inked. So, it stays in the same place. I'm going to ink this again. And we're going to go back down. And I'm going to press down, not really hard, but just enough firm pressure that it should transfer. That's looking better. I think right here it needs a little more. So I'm inking it up again. And then down it goes. All right, that's good. I'm happy with that. Now, here we go. This is what it looks like. I'm not sure I like the choice of colors I have here, but it ends up being a pretty card. I'll wipe this off. Do not want any accidents anymore. I'm going to place this right in here like that and close my ink pad. All right, and move the Stamparatus out of the way. I'm going to bring this back in. Now, I'm going to use my adhesive. And that should do it. All right. I'm going to center this. Now we can put some embellishments on it. And I have pulled out the embellishments 2021 to 23 in color jewels. They should still be in the catalog because they are still in effect for 2023. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, let me think. What do I want to do? Pink, I guess. All right, let's take our pick tool and turn it around like this. And I'm going to put a pink one here. Well, let's see. What does this green one look like? Well, I think I like the green one better. So I'm going to put one there. Oh, it's stuck to my finger. One here. Nope, wrong one. And, no, these are Pool Party. I don't want to use Pool Party. Nope, 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 nope. I'm glad I caught that. Somebody would have been telling me about that, I'm sure. So, here we go. Pink. Oh my kitty cat has decided to join me and she just dumped everything on the floor. No, no, no. No, no, Silky. All right, darling, you can't come over here. I'm sorry. Alrighty, so there we go. There we have our finished card. Here's the first one. And here's the second one. Okay. Now, I have a little surprise that I didn't tell you about. That is another technique, and it is very, very quick, very easy to do. And I want to show you that. If I can get this back where it's supposed to be, because I don't want to lose that little tiny jewel. All right. Slide these to the side. Stepping. I want my kitty cat nuts, so I'm picking that up. Alrighty, now here's a card I'm sure that you saw on my Facebook page. And this piece right here was created with a pencil eraser. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I think it's such a happy, bubbly looking card. So I have, because I decided to change things up a little bit, the card. This will then go like this. This piece is the piece that we are going to stamp on. It looks like I've already stamped happy on there. And I was going to put birthday. Alrighty. No, this is the piece. Well, we're going to use the back of this. This is the piece that is going to be stamped with the different colors. Alrighty, so I'm going to use our In Colors again. Right here, these. And, nope. Okay, here we go. We're going to start out with this. Now, what you're going to need to do is to get a pencil that you've used the eraser completely down to this metal piece. And it's flat. You're going to dot it up. And you're just going to press it down onto the paper. Just like this. Now, I missed right there, but I can go right back over it. And you may not get complete circles every single time, but that's okay. Nothing's perfect in this world. And if you notice on here, there were times that my circles were not perfect either. But that is not what you focus on. You focus on on the card itself and what it is saying. So I just go right back over it. And sort of, if you do this little number, make it go around like that, it gives you a better circle. One more. Right there. Okay. Now, I'm going to now use, get these in the right place, the Tahitian Tide. I'm going to clean off my eraser right there where there's a somewhat clean spot. And get down round in the edges here. Okay. Clean it one more time. It really got down in there. All right, now it's looking better. Okay, so I dot this up. And we just go all around. Now, we really don't need to worry about that center because that center is going to be covered up. This reminds me of finger painting when I was a kid, although I'm not using my fingers. Alrighty, so we've got a pretty good coverage of the Tahitian blue. Now I'm going to get some Parakeet Party, which is that beautiful green color. All right. Here we go, Parakeet Party. We will stick that in and around. And you just keep on going till you get it exactly the way you want it to look and balanced. Oops. Fix that right up. Now, we are going to have the Orchid Oasis, and I'm going to add a little Daffodil Delight as well. Okay, that's a pretty green. We got it covered pretty well. All right, so here's the Orchid Oasis. And I'm going to clean my eraser. Now, if you had a wooden dowel, this might do the same thing. You can try. All right, got it. All right, so here we go. Still didn't get it completely round there. Now this is beginning to look a little more cheerful and festive. I think it looks really festive. What happened there? And you can overlap them if you choose. It just depends on what the look is that you're going for. Now, I'll cover that up. Now, I like that, but I do want to put some yellow in there. That just sort of livens things up. It's not one of the new in colors, but it is a color in the Bright collection. So let's close this one up. Put that right there. Now, I'm going to try some yellow. And I'm going to stick it in where I don't have other color. Oops. This just brightens it up a little bit and balances it out more. And although these in colors are really pretty right on their own, but I think they still need a little bit of pop. And that's what this yellow is giving it. Put it right there. This is so easy to do, and it really ends up with great results, regardless of if you get these complete circles or not. It's very forgiving. I think that's what I should say. A very forgiving technique. and kids love it. All right, I think that looks pretty good. I better get another one right down there. I think we're going to have this covered, but just in case. Alrighty, so now that I've closed this up, I'm going to come back over here to my card. I know I'm going to put this down regardless. So, let me move this. Slide this over. And this goes to the wayside. And we'll get my tape rolling. Well, I'm glad I got this. And when you do this, it doesn't put any tape on here. You're not losing any tape off your roller. Okay, I'm going to evenly place this down. Now, I wanted to back this just to have a hint of color. Either that one or that one. I wish I could see your comments, but I can't. That sort of fades. I think we're going to use a red. That sort of makes it pop. So we're going to add this, and this, you can see, does not show up when we press this down. So you can reuse the opposite side of your card if you mess up, or your paper. Alrighty, that there. Okay, I'm going to place this down, and this is just a bit of color around it to set it off. Now, once again, I'm going to place this down. We're going to use this adhesive. I get it going, I'm going to use it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to place it down. I think it needs to go down just a tad. There we go. All right. Now, what I want to do is I am going to use this green one and raise it up with dimensionals. Put a few embellishments on it. Now, it could be done. Ooh, I do like that. With the yellow. Yellow versus green. It makes the green pop. Okay, that's what we'll do. Alrighty, so once again, I'm going to pull out my Stamparatus. I've used it more today than I've used it in a while. And I'm going to place my paper down along with the lines. And this just means happy birthday to me with all these happy little bubbles everywhere. So I am going to get happy. I turn it upside down. And I've placed it where I want it to be. I press this down. And it will pull up. Maybe not press it quite so hard. Pull this up just a tad. Okay, and I see a speck of ink right there. Okay. I don't want any other ink to be getting on my little card here. So, the color. What color do we use? I think red, because this red here. So, well, not red, sweet sorbet. It is a shade of red. All right, so I'm going to ink it up. You've seen me do it several times now. And I'm going to wipe this off. It should not transfer, but I don't like taking chances. All right, so I'll try not to get it everywhere. All right, so here we go. And here's my little Chucky tool. All right, it's not as dark as I want it to be. So I'm going to stamp this again. And I'm going to pull this in and wipe it right off. I have gotten the good out of these wipes today. Look at this. Look at this. And this one. I haven't been wasting. Okay, let me slide this so I don't put my hand in it. And this little tool right here, I've seen them made with a doorknob on a piece of circular cut board and then felt placed on here. And it looks like there's 2 layers of foam on this one. Okay, that looks better. All right. So now I'm going to wipe this off. Give it a good cleaning and get it off of there. And I'm going to stamp birthday. Now, there again, we got to figure out. I don't want to use green because it's going to look like Christmas. So, I know from experience that the Tahitian blue does not do very well when you're trying to stamp a sentiment. It makes it sort of, yeah, bubbly. Sorry about that. I've got an ink all over my table. All right, so I think we're going to use the Orchid Oasis. So move that. Place this down, and I like to use these lines on the squid paper to keep it straight. Actually, the best thing to do is to use the stamping foam pad, line it up right here. Okay, now I'm going to pull out birthday again. I'm going to put it on my block as straight, and I think that looks pretty straight. And I'm going to pull out the Orchid Oasis. I'm going to stamp. And I'm going to try and line birthday up right there. And there we go. Close this. Now you could have done this on the Stamparatus. And this is bled a little bit outside of the letters, and this doesn't look as crisp and clear. I'm not sure why that is. It could be that the stamp was not completely dry, but we'll continue here. This will go here, and I'm probably going to restamp this off camera. But I do like those colors. I think that looks good. So what I can do is I'm not going to glue this down or tape it down, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my foam dimensionals, if I can find where the kitty cat put them, because they fell. Oh, I'll put them over here. All right, here we go. Sorry, kitty. Once again, this just raises it up and give it a little dimension. And I'm going to take my pick tool. This is one of the most used tools in my craft room. Alrighty. Now, put this down like that. And I would tape that down. And then I would place some dimensionals on there to make it festive and happy, as I did on this one. Now these are glittery enamel dots that are no longer available in the catalog, but there are others that you can use. And because this is the in color, you can use the new in color embellishments on this. And probably I would put these dark ones. No, I don't really like that. I might use these. I like those. Or possibly you could use the green. Red would work too. So, but I'll do that after I restamp this. And my stamp is completely dry. So, there you go. That's 3 techniques, 3 cards. There's the first one. I mean, the last one, actually. There's the first one. And then the second one. 3 happy cards that were done within an hour and with no special designer series paper because you created it. And the colors, of course, would be your choice. And playing with it is what makes it pop, to find exactly what fits together best. So, thank you for joining me. Let me right this camera. Thank you for joining me. I've had fun, as you can tell, and I got my hands all inky and red. They were blue yesterday. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to join me and watch what I'm doing, something that I love so much and I love sharing. So thanks. I will see you again in the next video. And if you do need a catalog, please contact me. My information is on my Facebook page in the About section. If you would like to join my team, the Magnolia Stampers, we have so much fun. We learn from one another and we share. We do what we love, and that's what this is all about. So if you would like to join us, please let me know. I can answer any questions that you might have. Just send me a message, call me. I'm here. Until I see you again on the next Facebook video, goodbye. Have a great week.